So first, some fast thanks. The germ of the idea of this conference was planted, I actually think, by Diane. I remember meeting in her office, and I was going on sabbatical, and she said, why not host a conference? And this space was Academy of Music space, and it made it really great space for to think about a conference. We've never really done an academic conference at Millersville, and so when this space came available, I wanted to do this. But when she asked me, why not host a conference, I don't think she suspected anything like this quite as much. But I want to thank Diane, and I want to thank the Dean's office, and especially her remarkable assistant, DJ Ramsey, who's an amazing assistant in every way. I want to thank Millersville University and the Ware Center staff, particularly Laura Michike, who's here somewhere, for their support, always more than financial, for this conference. As always, there's a lot of people to thank behind the scenes. I won't go through all the names here, but if you look inside the front leaf of the program, there's a list of the different people that have helped me make this conference happen. But I want to give a special shout out to two people that I live with. My daughter Kendall and wife Jackie. As this conference mushroomed, it got bigger and bigger. I have 3 desks in the first floor of our house, and they all were covered with papers and little scraps of things and ideas. Eventually I moved to the dining room table, and it became colonized. And I moved to the kitchen peninsula, finally, in the kitchen. And that was a bridge too far. My wife finally said that was enough. But she and my daughter Kendall helped in so many ways that I have to publicly thank them. But no one will be more relieved than Jackie when this conference is over. She'll have space again. I also want to give a shout out, and we need to offer applause to our stream organizers who went through 700 different total submissions for this conference. 700 submissions came in. We narrowed them down to 223. They're on the program today. It was quite an undertaking, but the entire process of selecting and sequencing those went amazingly smoothly. It was joyful from start to finish. Everyone was great to work with. So let's thank the stream organizers. And my last note of thanks, and probably the most important note of thanks, is to the plenaries. I called in every favor I had locally, every hotel, every former student. Everything I did was because students have left Millersville, graduated, and got jobs in the area, and I was able to pull, even Harrisburg Airport, a former student of mine runs the Harrisburg Airport kind of marketing, and so he was able to set up the baggage claim and all the pickup there. The TELUS 360 is a former student who does the booking at TELUS 360. We had the party last night, all these people. But we need to thank most of all the plenaries. People always email and say, how'd you do this? How'd you get these many people to come, and what kind of budget do you have? I actually have a very small budget. The plenaries came just for the cost of travel and lodging. They're getting no honorarium, which made it possible to put the conference on and make it what it is. So let's thank the plenaries for this. As I say in the program, without the plenaries, the hashtag AffectWTF would just be WTF. We wouldn't have that. So WTF Affect. For me, affect has always been most intriguingly a part of the ordinary uncanny, or vice versa. The low-level pricklings and dust-up unsettlings of the utterly mundane, the event structure of the barely noticeable, the always mobile plane where potentials and constraints work perpetually at each other's edges and pivot points. Perhaps that's why, despite the fact that WTF makes for a clever and catchy acronym, and I got a lot of people emailed me and said, do you know WTF means something else other than World Extending the Future? I knew that, and I spoke to my dean, and I said, is this okay? And I think she just wanted plausible deniability, just like she didn't know that I had told her this. So while it makes a clever and catchy acronym as a hashtag, it does for me also as a kind of sideways attempt to poke at and partially deflate certain kind of pretentious posturings of affect theories bullying non-subscribers. But even more so, because I want to kind of poke fun at whatever kind of posture those certain individuals take. But even more so, I want to believe that WTF as Worldings, Tensions, and Futures succinctly gets at the multi- and interdisciplinary moment, in affects theorizing. What's exciting about this conference is how many, when I looked at the registration, how many different disciplines and how many people from all over the world and from vastly different kinds of methods and approaches and practices are here, and that's exciting. And just the diversity in general of just the individuals. So the moment that the entire contents of a conference program, I think, reflects this kind of moment really well. So all the forces of encounter and the encounter of forces within and across the sometimes dust-up unsettlings of disciplinary boundaries that are certain to transpire across the next 3 days here. It's one of those moments where one finds oneself in a world where it suddenly rises up as a single kind of swath of goose flesh, and then dissolves into a kind of tingly guise of the almost not quite familiar. Or it's like one of those dreams where you're walking through the house, you know, the dream you have where there are these rooms and spaces, and from within those rooms and spaces, you encounter people from other times and places, and you find these spaces you never saw before. It's that dream where you're engaging with each other as if it's the most everyday thing. And in the dream, you have this moment where you encounter people that never met each other, but there they are in your space. And
I'm going to let you finish.
all right.
But what you doing, Greg? I have here my acceptance to this conference, which says that you've put your dreams on Facebook for 8 years, but for the next 3 days, you don't get to talk about them. I get to talk about them.
That's right. I've leased my unconscious to Gil for the next 3 days. This is Gil Rodman, a former colleague of mine, who cataloged all of my dreams that I post to Facebook as my status updates on occasion. There's 125 of them. And when he proposed, we'll talk about this later. It's the whole thing. When I proposed this, I'm not allowed to speak about my dreams here, so Gil's going to give you a couple.
Greg's most recent, October 5th, 2015. I dreamed that I'd rented a downtown hotel room during AffectWTF for the conference animals, a platypus and a bald eagle. I was trying to get a quick nap, and the platypus was snuggled beside me, but the eagle was restless and kept trying to squat on my head. I remember thinking, someone has surely let the bird out for its potty break. Soon enough, though, it shot a stream of shit across my face and all 6 hotel beds. 6? How many animals am I expecting? I asked myself while gargling. One more. May 22nd, 2015. Plenary dreams number 2. I dreamed that I returned to Lisa and Isabel's garden shed to change back into my other clothes and out of my red glittery dress. I was also wearing a woolen ski hat. But no dice on the clothes. They'd gone missing. Later, in a fit of unrelated frustration, I punched Lisa's friend from screen in the mouth. P.S. I'm pretty sure Lisa and Isabel don't have a garden shed. P.P.S. Yes, I rocked that dress.
All right, so that's all pretty weird. But thank you, Gil. So now for the introductions of the plenaries. There's an interview, this is part 4, I'm almost done. So the interview where Gilles Deleuze talks about the death of Michel Foucault, and he says that one of the major losses in the intellectual scene around France is that when Foucault passed, suddenly imbeciles were able to speak, right? It was he was an imbecile guard, he said. And so with Foucault's passing, France had lost its idiot guard. And I was fortunate through the preparation and execution of this conference to have 2 superb idiot guards, my own kind of imbecility, both Lisa and Heather's capacities to rein in my inherently idiotic tendencies to be goofy, to do things that are kind of outside the box, and allow me to do this sometimes, has been impeccable from start to finish. They've been great help, with only one exception, and that's Gil. Because when I saw Gil's proposal for WTF, I said, I'm not sure about this, and I really don't know if I want this. And they said, oh, no, this one is definitely in. And Gil will be strolling around dispensing dreams if you want to hear them. But truly, without their insights and their subtle redirections, I've never put on a big conference before. They have. This conference would have been far weirder and unwieldy and quite a beast. And so we should all thank the 2 of them for helping me.